Hello guys, Soul Controller here. Today I'm going to talk about the new Tomb Raider game that's going to come out on September 14, 2018. It's called The Shadow of the Tomb Raider. The trailer just dropped and it is a CGI trailer, so you can't really tell much. All you can tell is it's based on Mayan civilization, so you'd be hunting trinkets inside Mayan ruins. And it's got traditional Mayan people dressed up with the crazy masks and all. Apart from that, there isn't any gameplay out there. The gameplay footage is expected to hit in the E3 conference in June 2018, so we'll be waiting for that with a bated breath. One of the interesting things to note here is that this game is not being developed by Crystal Dynamics, the developer of the Tomb Raider game in 2013, the reboot, and the slightly controversial Rise of Tomb Raider that came in 2 years thereafter. Who is developing this game then? It is Eidos Montreal. Eidos Montreal is the original studio that developed the original Tomb Raider all those years ago in the 90s. It developed the first Tomb Raider game, the second one, the third one, and of course the fourth one. Thereafter, Crystal Dynamics stepped in, developed a few more Tomb Raider games, and then finally it was rebooted in 2013. Interestingly enough, Crystal Dynamics is working on a new Avengers game, and Eidos Montreal is also working on the same Avengers game. In fact, I think Crystal Dynamics is the lead developer there, and Eidos Montreal is helping it out. And for the Shadow of the Tomb Raider game, it's the other way around. Eidos Montreal is the lead developer there, and Crystal Dynamics is helping them out. Now let's take a moment to discuss what happened to the last Tomb Raider game. The Rise of Tomb Raider was fairly well received by the critics. It stands at a Metacritic rating of 86, which is pretty impressive. I played the game myself. I really enjoyed it. It was a good game, and it was worth the praise that it was receiving. That is it for the good stuff. Now let's get into the controversial stuff. To begin with, when Rise of Tomb Raider was first released, it didn't do too well commercially. There are plenty of reasons for that. One of them being the release date. Rise of Tomb Raider was released on November 10th, 2015. Around that time, there were a lot of heavy hitters that were released. Picture this. On October 27, 2015, Halo 5, the biggest Xbox One exclusive, was released. Then, on November 3rd, Need for Speed was released. Then we had Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Call of Duty is a heavy hitter, and Black Ops is the heaviest hitter of Call of Duty. It's the highest selling Call of Duty sub-franchise there is. They're making another Black Ops video game, Black Ops 4, which is releasing later this year, and it does not have a damn single player campaign. I'm gonna come and rage about that in a separate video, but now let's get back to Tomb Raider. So Rise of Tomb Raider was released a mere 4 days after Call of Duty Black Ops 3. As if that wasn't bad enough, 7 days after the release of Rise of Tomb Raider, EA was gonna release Star Wars Battlefront, a game that was very highly anticipated but ultimately disappointed. Now, as if being sandwiched between some of the biggest selling franchises in the video game industry wasn't bad enough, the release date of Rise of Tomb Raider coincided with the release date of Fallout 4, a game people had been waiting with bated breath for years. For years and years, they had been waiting for Fallout 4, and as soon as that was announced, Tomb Raider took a backseat in the mindshare of lots and lots of gamers, including myself. So, releasing in a very packed holiday schedule, sandwiched between some of the biggest franchises, releasing on the same date as Fallout 4, what else could go wrong? Ha! A lot! You may have heard of exclusives. Halo, Uncharted, Mario are all examples of exclusives. You may have also heard of the term console exclusive, which means it's available on console and PC and not on the other console. That is, if it's available on, say, PlayStation and the PC and not available on the Xbox, that makes it a console exclusive for PlayStation. Then there is another term being thrown around which is called a Microsoft exclusive, because it's available on Microsoft platforms, which includes Microsoft Xbox and Microsoft Windows. There are also timed exclusives, which means that a game is available on a particular platform exclusively for a limited period of time. Thereafter, the game is released on all other platforms. Now, for this particular game, Microsoft came up with another term, a new unique term, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the holiday exclusive. It's just another fancy way of saying timed exclusive, which is kind of stupid. Especially considering the fact that in the end it turned out to be quite ironic because Tomb Raider started doing well only after the holiday season. And by doing well, I mean doing commercially well. Making it a holiday exclusive, timed exclusive, or whatever exclusive was a bad idea, Microsoft. They were trying to compete with Uncharted, and instead of making a Killzone type game when Sony made when they were trying to compete with Halo, they made a money hat and decided to give that money hat to Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix to ensure that they can compete with Uncharted. Ironically, Uncharted, which was supposed to release in the same window around about holiday 2015, got delayed and it was later on released in around June 2016. However, the backlash that Microsoft suffered because of this Tomb Raider debacle was ridiculous. People, Sony fanboys, and gamers in general were after Phil Spencer's life for making the game exclusive. Phil Spencer had to come out with quotes such as, "I don't own the franchise. The exclusivity doesn't come from an evil place." Poor old Phil. He just wasn't ready for all the backlash that was coming his way. Now compare this with Sony's situation. Around about the same time, they announced that Street Fighter V was going to be exclusive to the PlayStation console. That did have some backlash, but that was nowhere near as crazy as the backlash that Phil Spencer and Microsoft received. Now, coming back to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, there are no exclusivity deals that I know of that are attached to this game. But hey, you never know. Sony or Microsoft may decide to pull a hat out of their pockets, the money hat, and decide to make the game an exclusive one. In which case, there'll be more backlash. The release date is September 14th, which is a nice sweet spot just before the holiday season begins. And there aren't any heavy hitters that have been slated to release during that period. Although that again may change after E3. So I'm looking forward to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. My only doubt is that Crystal Dynamics is not heading the development. It is being developed by Eidos Montreal. I really hope the game turns out well. I enjoyed the last Tomb Raider, the one before that, and the one before that, and one before that. There hasn't been a Tomb Raider game that I have not really enjoyed. Even Angel of Darkness. I even enjoyed that game. That is how big of a Tomb Raider fan I am. And old school Tomb Raider fans would know what I'm talking about. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. This is a new channel, and there's a lot more content coming your way.